No, we're sweating huge here, man. You got
Come on in,
join
Tyron.
us.
Don't worry about that.
Woodley.
There's the microphone for you.
Team Wood, the chosen one.
There he is.
You couldn't possibly sweat more than I have in this shirt, Tyron. I mean, let's be honest right here, bro, okay? All right. Luke, Thomas, Brian Campbell, bringing the MMA side, the journalist pumping out there, in there. But we know this isn't a one-off money grab from you. You want to make this transition to boxing. You could have done a lot worse than not only the mentorship with Floyd Mayweather, but I want to hear your work with Pedro Diaz. Why did you choose out him to make this transition into boxing?
I mean, Pedro Diaz, when I first walked in the gym, I was actually in a situation where I had to leave on that Sunday. And they said, man, I think you should stay another day. So I rebooked my flight. I said, let me just give it a try. I'm already in Miami. And I walked in the gym, and he kind of got up on my face like, are you here for the show or are you here for the win? If you're here for the show, I'm not going to train you. If you're here for the win, I'll make sure everything I can do to get you to the win. So I was kind of like, damn. But at the end of the day, that passion and that intensity for victory really made me stay. And I just really had my back shipped, and I've been there since June. I just stayed there, and I was there for 3 months.
When you were competing in MMA, one of the big things you offered an opponent was a dual threat. You could take them down, you could light them on fire with the strikes, and you could mix them, right? You could fake the level change and then come up top. Obviously, that's not really apparent here. Was it really hard to, how do I set up my threat striking without any wrestling?
No, you look at a lot of greats like Mike Tyson. He set it up with head motion. He set it with feints and slips. You look at Roy Jones. He set it up with elusiveness. He had very long arms, but he can get to that target quick. And nobody in mixed martial arts could get to a target quicker than me. From here to that camera, nobody can beat me to that punch. So when you start utilizing that feints, level changes, strong jabs, and you start taking away weapons, every time they throw something, you counter it strong. I think my counter ability and my sight and my instincts in there is going to be very surprising to a lot of people for my first pro boxing fight.
7-time world champion Amanda Serrano, who's going to be in Sunday night's co-main event, working out in Public Square here in Cleveland. We're talking to Tyron Woodley. A lot of talk about, the mentorship of Floyd. Can you give us the details of what actually went on? How often did you get to work with him, and what could you have taken to set up for this fight?
Sounds like he was hands-on in a way you weren't expecting.
Sure. Even if he wasn't there, me and GT, Gerald Tucker, is his trainer for Logan Paul fight, also trained Adrian Broner and Gervonta Davis. He was there the entire time, every single run, every single deal. And to be able to have guys like him and Pedro mesh together so well for the cause of victory is a blessing. So the times I worked with Floyd, he was very vocal. You couldn't do nothing wrong, and it makes sense why he's so great. Just the slightest heel turn the wrong way or overdoing it. MMA, we overdo it a lot. We all the time, but it don't always transition into power. Don't always transition into accuracy. But they just basically gave me the foundation, which they didn't have to do. They showed me their base. They showed me the way that they defeat all their opponents in secret. And now, I'm a part of the squad. After this fight, they say you got 2 weeks, and we back to work.
Was it hard to not have Dean Thomas there?
No, Dean Thomas stopped in. He came in for camp.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He didn't stand for the whole time, but he got a lot of stuff going on. I'm very, very happy for my dog. He got a lot of commentating stuff. He got Dana White looking for a fight. He got his own Dean Diaries.
But, you guys are so close, and you worked together for so long.
And I asked him what part he wanted to play. He said, Tyron, I don't want to be a stressor. However you want to have me in this camp. So he made it down for a day. We chopped it up, laughed and joked, and it was a reset button. It was refreshing to see somebody. But to be honest, Gerald Tucker's a lot like Dean. He reminds me so much of like him. Not anything, no matter what. He won't let me leave the studio by myself. He'll stay there and wait until I finish recording, or he'll run every single run, and he run faster than me. So coach's pace. I'm like, nah, fuck coach's pace, because you run too damn fast. But he got me in a different mentality. I mean, look, I'm fucking ripped up. I'm like way in weight.
I was gonna say
the way I look. You know what I mean? But I ran.
What is your walking around weight right now?
Man, I was 205 normally. Right now I'm in the 90s. So for me, it's like I've been killing myself to make 170 all these years.
So is this size difference exaggerated by the
very
media
much
narrative?
so? But I waited till this week so he couldn't bitch out. The no bitch out clause.
All right, I got to ask you this. When people learn a new language, they may be speaking in English. Sometimes they're still thinking in Spanish. Is it like that in the transition from the mindset of an MMA fighter to start thinking like a boxer?
I did throw two spinning back fists in sparring, but I couldn't help it. Like I just knew I had the overhand right, and most of the time in the MMA fight I landed. So I threw the overhand right, and the guy was underneath it, and I was like, oh, spin. Oh, man, my bad, dog. But at the end of the day, it's been very easy because I was a wrestler, All-American wrestler. They transitioned very well, but I recognized very early that people wanted to see people get knocked out. So how many times did you really see me wrestle or really see me use my black belt in jiu-jitsu? You really didn't. You saw me utilize a lot of power and the threats.
Just the Darren Till one, really.
Yeah, it was the threats of it. I mean, Darren Till fight, I had to. I ripped my damn thumb out of my entire arm almost, and I was forced to use elbows, which I never had did before. I was forced to get him on the ground. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I feel like for me, the mentality, the discipline is. I told myself, man, I wish I would have did this a long time ago, but it's never too late.
I was going to say, boxing training at the level which you're doing it is not easy. But in terms of the injury load, it does seem like there's a big difference between boxing training and MMA training.
It's a huge change. Like, your back and stuff is sore from squatting or doing sled pushes because every trainer wants to show you that they can kick your ass. So people will literally be trying to push you to the maximum strength conditioning, push you to the maximum on sparring, push you to the maximum on grappling. So when you started stretching your legs from being in a rubber guard or some type of, open guard or doing jiu-jitsu after you did crazy squats and leg press the day before, and now you got to spar after your arm was in the arm bar and you had to defend out that and your shoulders are burned out, it was counterproductive. And most fighters don't have the resource and income to have a massage therapist, a chiropractor, ice plunge on deck. They don't have those recovery tools at hand. I always had that and I always trained smart, but it was times I would get injured. I can't remember the last fight in MMA I walked into not injured. I just never spoke about it.
You know what's kind of interesting is, in your career, I think it's fair to say, you had a bit of a chip on your shoulder at times, even as champion.
Yeah. Even right now in this interview, looking at you, dog.
He might.
Right.
But here's the point. With Jake Paul, you've said this out loud. People are coming up to you saying, you got to knock this guy out. You've kind of turned into a bit of a hero here, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching an interview you did a while ago about how we've been kind of bamboozled. And I had a chip on my shoulder because I had to. Because any other way, I wouldn't have been able to compete. Because this is a passion for us. Some people just do it so they can go to the club and tell a girl they're an MMA fighter, but I was passionate about it. So when you're portrayed in a certain way, then you kind of lose the love for it and passion. So then I had to make it personal, and that's where the chip came on. In this situation, it's more like I know better now. I know better than to take on the pressure and the load of everybody wanting me to see him beat him for them. You know what I mean? I don't have the pressure. I told everybody. I'm telling everybody no, so I can tell everybody I told everybody no. I'm not a fucking ticket master. I'm not on a ticket hunt. I'm not on the, you know what I mean? Don't call me this week if I haven't talked to you in three months, just so you can have the phone next to your homies so you know me. This is a war to me. Like, I'm locked in. That's why I got bandana on. This is gang shit. I'm going out there to hurt this kid.
Oh, wow. All right, I got to ask you this. I gave you your flowers earlier talking. You never got the respect you deserved during your championship reign. Some of that may have been Dana White's lack of a push in certain areas, and I always thought you got the raw end of that. But I think you became so efficient in each of your title defenses that you don't get credit for the IQ in your game
will down
planning.
the road.
How much will you be using that, considering Jake Paul doesn't have this background as a fighter? How much are you going to be outthinking him? People just think, okay, he's got a puncher's chance, he may knock Jake out. If not, he's going to lose. How much is this going to be a game plan and a thought process?
Well, I don't get into what people think. Like, when you hear the word think, that's automatically uncertainty. So if I say I think, you guys are experts. You should fucking know. I know. I don't think. I'm an OG to this. So when people start saying, if I say I think, and I try to travel myself into somebody else's brain and think what they're thinking, but what I can do is say I've been training my ass off. I'm going to tell you my coaches have been putting me through the wire. When I wanted to quit, when I wanted to slow down, he even made my training partners, my sparring partners run with me. He allowed them to come and break down film of the sparring session without me to make them better. So usually you spar somebody and you get in great shape. The weeks go by, you turn up this kid that you was even with in the first week. Not when you training and you actually preparing your partners as well, building that camaraderie. So now the way you show me love is to fuck me up if I'm my hands down, to press me when I'm trying to rest on the ropes. Nah, hit me in the body. So at the end of the day, I've never have, and I'm blessed to have that mindset. I never really give a fuck what people think and say, because I've always been an ultimate underdog, and I always came out on top.
When you think about the end of your UFC run, how do you look at it? The last 4 fights obviously didn't go your way. You had a championship run before that. When you evaluate it and you say to yourself what went wrong, how do you answer that?
I think I had some choices that I made in life. I got caught up in the lifestyle, and I feel like when I was doing that, I was selling this separate. I can go out here and I can turn up and I can just be, my personal life was different, and it's not. It's very so much aligned. And I was training my ass off, and nobody could beat me. Nobody really could win around. Like, I was a problem solver. I'm the one that was solving the Rubik's Cube of Wonder Boy, Damian Maya, Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condit, you name it, Darren Till. All these people that people could not beat. They hadn't lost in 7 fights. They Damian Maia had taken on people in his 12 fights in a row. I wrote the book for many guys to follow after that. That's why when he said, I don't really need the respect. Yeah. Down the road, people would document what I did. They would write about it. They would talk about it. They didn't like Muhammad Ali at the moment. Now we love him. We worship him, right? So I never got into this game to be famous. I got into it to be one of the greatest.
Yeah, forget about falling in and out of love with you.
I got that drop. I got that hit.
I'm sorry, he picked it up. Yeah. They're saying we got to let you go, so let's close with this. Everyone's saying, who's Jake Paul going to call out if you wins? Who's Tyron Woodley? Who's Tyron Woodley going to call out?
Jake Paul ain't going to win. He ain't going to win. I ain't getting no fucking tattoo, and I'm not calling nobody out. I'm calling out the boxing world. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I'm fucking sharp. I punch hard. I work hard, and I got the best team behind me.
Does he have to get that tattoo in the ring if he loses?
I don't care what he do. When I made the bet, it wasn't even applied to me from the jump.
Also, I want to say your mom is here.
Mama
might be one of the greatest moms in human history.
I appreciate that.
Right
appreciate
there.
That, man.
Everybody knows it. Tyron, we can't wait to see what happens on Sunday night. Congratulations on all this, and we look forward to seeing you fight.
Good stuff, buddy. Best of luck.
There he is, Tyron Woodley.
August 29th, Tyron's walking into hell. He's just going to burn alive. It's going to be embarrassing as fuck.
I think Jake, some of his antics, I don't think it's disrespect. I think it's a mental warfare because you got to recognize how much experience I have. I got to keep reminding myself he's a child, that, he's doing things that somebody his age should be doing.
I think with every fight, my confidence grows and grows and grows. Beating Ben Askren, I was just like, damn, I can really punch someone.
Jake is nervous about this fight. He's nervous in the face-offs. He said, I see fear in this. You haven't had enough face-offs to see fear. I've looked at somebody and I've seen fear, and I knew it was going to be over with in the first round. You can't say in 2.5 fights that you've done that.
I'm naturally talented, gifted, naturally athletic, naturally powerful. I'm also just a really fucking hard worker, and I show up every single day, do every single thing right. That's what has made me a real sharp fighter. If we have to go 8 hard rounds, I'm ready.